and welcome back to Hopefully Hour and day 3 of our Merry Christmas Book Nook build. Yesterday we left right in the middle of doing a lot of things, so that's a bit of a nuisance. Today we are going to be starting to use some of the corrugated, so if you've probably hopefully done this beforehand, as I did on day 1, I think it was day 1, we're going to need this one here, the cabin top, where it says cabin top, here and here. And for the snow templates we are going to need the wood cabin templates, these 3 here. So I'm going to get those cut out, but before that I'd rather have some exciting news, because I was able to get my lights working from these ones. I thought it was weird that every single time I couldn't do it. I just wonder, I could have saved myself a lot of grief on past ones like this. That's all I'm going with. So I think it's off, if I remember rightly. Can't remember. So white to white, red to red. This is a blue one. And did I turn it off now? Turned it off. Yeah. Okay, I left it on then. There we go. So it wasn't anything to do with the boards, so take it all back, the company, sorry. It was the batteries, which means I bought 40 batteries, which were cheaper in tubes, and none of them are any good. These ones are Duracells and they work fine. Could have saved myself a lot of hassle with the After Rain build, where I actually cut in a segment to put the box in, and also I think it was the Firefly one as well that I had to alter. Could have saved myself hassle, but thought I would show you that it does work. So I'm going to make a start on getting those templates cut out before we do any of the other stuff to do with the little cabin we started to build, and also go back to those wreaths. So let me get these cut out and I'll show you what we need to do with them. Okay, so that's what you should end up with: 3 white pieces, 2 of the roofing ones. Would have been better if they were going across, one would think, but don't need those just yet, but we will be needing these. So I'm going to get this started just because it might take a moment. So what they say is take a bag. So this is the original bag of snow. I've taken some. It doesn't say to take some, it just says do what I'm going to do. Take a some. I'm going to need a paintbrush. And then what you are going to do is mix it with some glue. Probably will need to make this up more than once, but I'll only make it up once on channel. So you pour your white glue, which came with your kit if you don't live in the UK, and you just pour it all in. This one's getting really low, so I'm probably going to need to get another one. That's not what I wanted to do. Didn't want to drop it in there. Definitely going to need to get another one. Right, that's okay. That's what we have these spares for. I have other types of glue, but that's what I'm using. Let me get the other one started. I've got another tube here. Okay, so this is just another one I got somewhere. And just pour it in. I like this one, it's got a better lid. And mix it all together. It kind of says to mix it in the bag, so let's do that and then we'll see if we need to get more. Now then it goes on to say put white latex glue on here and then put snow on it, which is where my confusion comes from. Does it mean to use the stuff that we've just made, which is already with the glue, or does it mean to just put white glue on the paper and then sprinkle the snow on, which is a bit where my confusion comes from here. So it kind of looks a bit like a paste. So I think that's probably just about the right amount. A good squeeze down, and I think that's quite well mixed, I think. We'll find out. So I'm going to use this and assume that's what they're talking about. So I'm just going to get my brush. And paint it on the pieces. Like I say, I don't know if this is 100% what they mean, really. It's not staying very well, is it? Okay, what we will do then is also apply glue to the paper. Oh, not that man. Wait. I'll be using this paper for a bit afterwards. Like I say, the instructions weren't very clear really as to what they were talking about. They tell you to mix it up, but they don't tell you if then that's what you're meant to be using. We will use it. I'll just put some glue on here as well. Maybe we can get a little bit out this time. Only if I open it. There we go, a bit better. Okay. Right. Let's see if that works better. Maybe I never put enough glue into the snow in the bag. Let's say that's what the problem is. And then try and get it on here as best you can. See, it kind of doesn't want to go anywhere when it's made it that way. I don't like it. But it does layer better, I will say that. Whereas if you did it the other way, you would just end up with a sprinkling, wouldn't you? It's got zero bark at. Zero. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just lift it from where it is on the paper, especially this one because it had all that glue that poured off, and just move it to a slightly different area on the paper. And see if that helps. This one I already moved once. Right, and I'm going to leave those to dry. That's why I wanted to get them out of the way. Like I say, I don't know if that's what you're meant to do. The nice thing about it is I think the snow has a lot more height than what it would have if we did it with just a bit of glue and then nothing. Right, we are onward to this. All of the things we did yesterday. So, first things first, we are going to deal with the wreaths very soon. I'm not putting them off, honestly. Maybe a little. Okay, so we have our roofing panels which are going to go on, but we're not going to do those yet. Our door is nicely open, so you can hopefully see a little bit inside. Always a shame when you can't see much, isn't it, really? So all of these, none of those we're going to do anything with quite yet, but we are going to be putting these signs on and this light. These we don't need today at all, as far as I'm aware. But I do need the plant pot, and one of these we don't need, so I'm going to keep, let's keep the smaller one. That one worked out a little bit better, I think, and we're going to trim that. We will need this, we will need these, we will need those, we need those snow pieces. First of all, I'm going to get this light starting to take, which goes on around about here on our door. It needs just a tiny bit of trimming on the end there where the bead's gone in a little bit, not much. Just cut off that end. Get out to tweezers. And not better position than that. And have this like here. So again, see, there's no way you should be stringy after you sitting there and drying forever and a day, mate. We will be needing one of those wreaths. So again, I'm just going to use something to go underneath to hold it in place. Stuck to me. Oh, goodness. When you think to yourself, I should just use super glue. It's like just doesn't have enough to take, really. Pop that to one side over there. Right, this we'll come back to in a little bit. Let's go on and do these wreaths. So you see I did give them a little trim. This one probably is one of the better ones. This one's still a little bit on the wild side here. There we go, it's totally dry now. I gave it a trim when it was still a little wet, but nothing terrible. So now we get to use this red stuff, and what I think I'm going to do is get a little pot, which I have right here. I know the lid's not on there. And just take some off. So it goes into the pot. And then throw that away. There's not much in there, but there's a little. And then put it in there, I guess, because I can't really see it in that pot. And then put, just every now and then, some of this. It's no good using that school glue, whatever it's called, because it would just stick to, it would just blob out. And then I'll do that to all three, and then take some of your red. Hopefully you can see where the glue went, because I can't as much as I'd like to. Got a bigger one there, I can go on. You could probably just sprinkle it over there. If you've been very specific where the glue is, it should only really stick to the area you put glue on. Technically anyway, right? Something like so, and then I'll redo the whole circle thing. Sorry to see that's missed there. But if I get something to stay, it'd be good. And then I'll get and do those other two. And then we should be in a position to start really putting all this together, and I'll go and grab that flower pot. It's on my tray of tiny pieces for this model. Okay, so it'll end up looking something like that. Like so. Which doesn't look terrible, does it? It kind of feels like it needs another one at the bottom there, doesn't it? Let's grab another one or two. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to put that to one side with the snow. Right, I'll get these other two done. Okay, so a couple of things. So they're making another wreath, but it's going to be out of this time. So I don't know what those are, 3 or 4, and using some beads. They also get to do another ribbon bow like this one, but it's using a different ribbon, which I actually don't have in my kit. So I'm not 100% sure why that would be, but I do not. So I'm just going to get this started. So you don't need to see me do a bow again. What I did was do a bit in the middle, make one end into a bow, and then cut it shorter. And it's a small one that's going to go on the top of this wreath. We will be using the other bow too, so we'll be using 2 bows in this part. I don't know why they say it's a different colour, because I just don't have a different colour. Right, let me get that one made. Okay. Now they tell you for this wreath to cut off 0.4. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to just wrap it around here. It's going to be about the size of a pencil. And then I'm going to cut it afterwards, because I think that just makes it a little bit easier. Probably a pair of scissors should work. Keep the remainder in case we need it, I don't know. And then we are going to stick on our beads on here. Why didn't they get us to do that with the rest of them? That would have made it so much easier. But they didn't. I've got B7000 on the end of my nail. I've also got sparkles on my fingers right now. So 1, 2. Put them on when I see where I'm putting them. 2. be strings. Three, four, I can feel the strings as well all over the shell. You want to leave a gap on the top for your bow that we just made, that one, the second bow. There you go with me. Just going to start again. Okay. And then on the top, once it let go of me, B7000, that's paid to get off too. Right. So you take your small ribbon, your small bow even, so the other red ribbon that you may have in your kit, being I didn't, has a little bit more of a design on. This is quite plain really. And then put a little bit of, oh, come on, B7000. I think the tube needs cleaning too. Oh, took one of my red berries off. Right, we just have to go and struggle to get the B7000 off me, I think. And then put your bow on as well. Definitely not the best bow I've ever made. I'll tighten it up maybe a little bit. Right, let me get it off me. Get this glue off my hands. Okay, I've probably still got B7000 on me. But next we are going to start on a veranda. Now you can make all this up and just attach it, or what I'm gonna do is just put it on. And I'm using wood glue. Yes, I know it takes a bit longer. And what you want is it to be, I need to get more tweezers out because the others will have B7000 all over them. I have to wait for that to totally dry and then I can scrape it off with a crafting knife. So you want it at the bottom of your door, like so. And then to put this on top, which is a little bit bigger, yeah. So let's get that even at least. Don't need anywhere near that amount of glue, but we can use it to our benefit. So then to put this piece, it might be easier to do it off the model actually. Okay, stupid idea. It seemed a good idea at the time. Okay. We can still do it, but I'm going to change it around. So like so. I guess there's still B7000 on me. So it's taking a moment to come off, I will say. And then you, oh come on, irritating model. It's going to test the old patience, so it's not going to be enough anyway. start to find these types of model too much for me. They test my patience too much. Really don't want to get a magnifying glass, but that does feel like it is. Plus we're coming into winter, so my lighting's not so good. And that seems like a reasonable thing to blame. Okay, they go a long ways up. And same with this one. It's going to be easier for me to put it on a piece. These are so tiny, these pieces. Something like so. And then I'll attach it to the house. Which there's still glue there. Should work okay. Just have it a bit more even without the... Actually it won't matter if it's got the little red dot there because we're going to be putting some stuff on it. So I'm going to give that a moment to dry. And while we do, let's grab one of our wreaths I made. So that other wreath that I just made with the pipe cleaner and the bow, we don't even need it for this. I was getting ahead of myself. So let's put this back on. We're going to go back with the B7000. Clean the nozzle. So this will go in here, on here rather, not in here. Should have done this when it was flat, huh? So I'm using the smallest one. They're slightly varying in sizes, my wreaths. It looks a bit big compared to theirs, but it's the smallest one I got, I think. Is that one smaller? They're about the same. So something like that. My light is on, it's not very straight. Then we are going to pop this inside here. So we're going to do that. This is what we made on day one, I think. And that just goes in here. Remembering it's not dry yet, so try and get that leaf to come out. Okay. Then we take our candy cane, make that smaller, like so. And this goes on there too. Let's put it on here. Put some on the end. Some on here. And you want it inside. Something like so. I don't know why. And that's all we're going to do with that for now. We have some decoration to do on there, but we will now start putting these little things on. So we have a Merry Christmas one on the top here, right in the middle. And it's the bigger one, this one. You have not got attached together, don't lie to me. So something like so. It's a very Christmassy cabin, isn't it? A lot of decoration and small pieces going to go on this. Try and even that up with the door. tiny one is going to hang from here, this side. At an angle, they want it. So it goes down towards this. But I'm going to give that a moment to dry before I do anything else. And then this one with the number to be up here. I'm going to put it on it. I have to have that pointing towards me. If I can get my tweezers right, be good. Goes in so. Come on. I was going to get there. I think that's particularly sent from. Let's see. Better. Okay, now we're going to start on the roof and we'll come back and deal with this in a little bit. So, I guess we'll carry on with this stuff. Okay, so we want it to have an overhang. Absolutely, we need a bell. I don't have a bell. I did not gather a bell. We are going to need a bell. Okay, so some on here, some on this side. Like so. So it meets in the middle at the top. Evenly would be good. I'm going to give that all a moment to take. I'm going to go and find the bell that they are talking about because I don't have one to hand. Actually, it's probably in this little pot of odds and ends. I'll go find it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the snow on, then we're going to put some of this on, and then we'll start decorating this little bit. Then we're going to have to wait for it to dry because we have more snowing things to put on. So I'm just going to use a bit of this white latex. Don't know, it doesn't like to come out the way I want it to. Oh. And that isn't even clean with my little purple things. It's a big clean. Okay, and we want this one, the long one, going over the edge, like so. Not all the way to the bottom, and some of it going over the top. It's weird, and it's still wet, but it will do what we need it to do. Some of the snow came off on the top there. We'll just put some more on in a minute. There's the bit that fell off, hopefully. Found it. I was hoping it would have more time to dry a bit better, but it didn't. So something like so. And a little piece is going to be hanging off the edge like it's falling. Keeping it flat on the back. here, and then this one kind of wraps around. So you want a gap again, and you want it to be folded down. Should use some of the glue to hold that down, shouldn't I? So something like so. Again, so it came off. Pop you back. I don't know how successful that is, putting the glue in a bag and mixing it, really. Let's assume it is. And when it dries, it'll be fantastic. Come here. Okay. That's how that looks for the moment. That one folded down more. Okay. We have a chimney that's going to go on. I'll do that in a moment. I won't do that yet. And we want 2 small pieces from here, so I'm going to just pick them from the bottom. One. Ooh, that was a nice straight one, I kind of like that one. 2. One's definitely bigger than the other, that's okay. And these 2 are going to go on the inside of the eaves. Don't need that anymore, I don't think. And we'll use some of our trusty B7000. It's going to go on here. And then some under here. So one goes one side. Goes the other, come back, come back. Really want to attach. Okay. I don't think this is successful at all, maybe this glue stuff. Anyway, maybe it's because it just hasn't dried enough. Let's go with that. And then I'm going to put this bow on top here, in the middle, along with the bell, which isn't really a bell, it's actually just a bead. Let's go all the way back to the basics of what it's meant to be. Invisible strings. Goes on the top, like so. And follow our bell. Something like so. This looks much more like the bell than that one does. That's kind of how it's looking. Okay. We are going to need one of these. These are all for the roof. Decoration for the roof. Now we need to decorate some of this with a little bit of this green. I think I'm not going to use B7000 because I'm just a little bit tired of the strings right now. I'll use a bit of our beacon. It will work just fine. And it's going to go on the top here like a garland. Get rid of that end. so detailed. I mean, it's beautiful when it's detailed, don't get me wrong. I mean, I really don't mind. I just gets a bit frustrating. Just jealous of these people with all the dainty hands, really, that's what it is. And a very small piece, like that, to go in between. And then we go back to the B7000 to put some beads on it. And then we'll let this really get underway on drying before we continue to put a little bit more snow all over it. My new beacon arrived as well, so that's kind of cool. We'll leave that, let's get those out of the way. And you have 3, so 1, 2. You know, when I see some other people put this on, obviously I actually watch quite a lot of crafting videos. I don't think there's anywhere near strings as much as mine. I think mine's the worst for stringing. I did have 3, now I have 2. Let's find another one. I do have plenty of them. Come on, and I can get them out. Which is why I was saying about that tree that I did yesterday, you know, we can put more on, it's not like we can't. Okay, let's give that a moment to, let's get the chimney on, actually. So, that chimney goes on here. Goes quite low, so I think I'm going to put it in here. Quite low, but not totally low. All I'm doing is taking the snow with me on the beacon. Beacon, B7000. Let's just put it on here. So you want it on the slanty end. That's what's going to go against the model. Right, so as you can imagine, we're going to put snow on it. And then we can put these 3 decorations on here, and we will leave it for a moment. So you want one of these, I guess they're representing maybe snowflakes. Just make sure you're happy with the snow before you start decorating it. I'm okay with it. And then the bead go down here. Where does the other one go? It does say to do 2. Maybe it'll only get 1. Yeah, I think it's me. Okay, don't need that one. Can go back in that pot. Alright, so I'm going to wait for this to take. Then what we're going to do is put a little bit of snow on the top of here and around the door frame. And that will be this part totally finished. So I'll be back in a mo. Okay, it hasn't had long, but I think long enough. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use a bit of beacon. Okay, I give in. We'll do the B7000, it's a lot more precise. So what we want is we want to get a bit of snow around the door, the top of the door. Let me just have it facing me one sec, guys, and then also on the top of here. Without hopefully pulling anything off. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit on top of the flower. Or this door here, doesn't say to do that. And then on top of the chimney. And a bit more around the base of the chimney so it moulds in a little better. Don't need to do the back, you're never going to see it. So something like so. And I'm not going to use the paste stuff. I did just notice that on top of those lights that we did on day 2, you need to put snow on top of them. The lamps, street lamps. So I'll get that done. But just so you know, I did it. Okay, I'm not going to use the paste on stuff. I'm just going to use normal glue. You can see loads of strings. Come on, don't need a string. I'm just going to sprinkle it where I want it to go. And hopefully so that it will stick in the right spots and not everywhere else that I've done. Okay, a little more on this side. It's probably okay if you have it other places. A bit more on top of the chimney. This potentially could have used the pasty type one that they've got. A bit on the balcony. The worst one's probably the bottom door, really. It doesn't want to take to that. I will use beacon on there because it's not behaving anyway. So get rid of that. It's also stringy. That's a bit better. It just doesn't want to go above this door. It's got plenty of glue now. Okay, I think that looks alright. What do you think? It looks quite festive, doesn't it? The chimney turned out probably quite well. Above this door is a little bit more patchy, but I think the rest of it's alright. I don't mind even having sun going down on the house, like the snow's melting. Alright, so I think that's what we will do for today. I will collect that snow in a little bit and we can get that going. So the good news for today, what I'm really very excited about, is the fact that the electrics are working. And the problem was about the batteries. Don't buy cheap batteries, guys. That's my hint with this, because I have probably not ruined other models. I've done the best that I can, but it wasn't anything to do with what came with it. So all my insults to the company are probably totally unfounded and wrong. And they all work fine. Just don't get cheap batteries. So not 100% happy with how this bow is. I will work on that. This, my friends, is for the next stage, which is a brick house. Now I know where this goes on the model, and it actually goes in a more prominent place. I haven't seen where this goes, so all this work for our little cabin, I'm not sure where it attends the model, but it will be somewhere. So that's what we've done for today. Doesn't seem much, does it? It seems a lot of work for very little, but I'm actually very happy with how it looks. I do think it looks rather delightful. I wish I don't wish to change my camera view so that I can scroll it in more, because I knock it all the time. But I can't get you guys any closer either. But I'm not going to hold that up because that's for tomorrow anyway. But that's how it's looking, and I actually think it's rather delightful. Very happy with that, actually. Anyway, next we will, like I say, work on the brick house. It's going to be just as intricate from what I can see, but hopefully we will get the whole thing done. That's the aim. It looks like it's bigger pieces, so it shouldn't take as long. We are going to be dealing with a lot of snow again. I will get those street lights with the snow on top, because it is something that I didn't see to do until now, and they get you to do that the normal way, so I'm not sure why they're getting you to mix the glue into the white snow, because I mean it does look a bit more puffy, maybe that's why, whereas this looks a lot more frail or scatty as such, so maybe that's why, I don't know. But either way, we are where we are right now. I'm quite happy with it. Alright, any comments are very much appreciated. Do please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate every single one of you. Biggest thing, take care of yourselves, and I will see you for day 4.